Welcome to Fight Court, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with another episode. We got some guests lined up today. I hope they show up. If they don't show up, knuckle sandwiches all around. But that's all right. I got my man Ryan Quinn in effect riding shotgun. Ryan, what's popping?
No, we hold it down. Guests, no guests. We've been kicked out of nice parties. You know, they don't want to come to ours. It's totally fine. Everything's cool. Looking forward to discussing. What'd you say?
What's going on with your hair?
I don't know. I just went back with it. I need a haircut. What's going on with your hair?
It's all gray. I'm trying. I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, you can.
It turned gray.
I go in and out with the salt and pepper. Like I'll shave it, and it'll come in, then it'll go away, and it's the weirdest thing.
Hold on, you mean to tell? So you don't color it?
No, I don't color
it. You cheating?
I don't believe
you. I don't believe you.
I can't believe you're asking me that. I don't
believe you. He trying to get this shit dark like
a whole career without taking steroids. I'm going to color my hair.
Okay, maybe you're right. So, man, how about the fights last week?
Yeah, lots to talk about.
Let's start at the top.
Yeah,
Magomed Ankolaev wins the title over Alex Pereira. Any initial thought? Well, first off, let me say this. A lot of people are going to Alex's defense in this saying that they thought he won. Did you see it that way?
I did, but when I didn't, there was worse decisions on the card. You know, I wasn't bothered that he didn't get the win. I at first I was like, well, it depends what they're looking for. He could be down 3-1 going into the fifth. He could be up. He could be 2-2. But I thought that I would have scored it for Alex. But then when they said he lost, I was like, you know what? I couldn't put my finger on it. But then the next morning I figured it out.
What?
And you know this. You know this because you've taken the courses with judging, refereeing, and judging and stuff like that. Well, you done your.
I've taken the course and I talk to them every show.
There you go.
Talk to them about their judging and all that.
All right. So I talked to them. Keep saying I'm going to say do the course. Keep putting it off. But anyway, so you know how this is for you fans, and Dean, fill in the gaps because you talk to them more than I have. It's been a while since I've had this conversation. But long story short, they score whether there's more grappling or more striking. They score the round towards what there's more of. Correct?
No. It's all based on damage.
Okay.
Domination.
No. Okay. The damage. There's more damage, within the damage duration and domination. Damage, domination, duration.
Yeah.
Within that, they score the damage from the grappling or the striking.
Right.
Yes.
It's just whoever. So it's kind of a tricky area because
really
the crazy thing is I can close my eyes, turn my head, swing a punch, and hit you and bust your nose open. And that's going to score more than if I take you down, pass your guard, mount you, and take your back and do nothing. It's weird.
You know, the most effective damage submission that I can think of is if somebody hit a standing guillotine. Because that's visually, that looks pretty bad. You know, like there's a whole process to get through what you said. But anyway, I'm not really trying to get into that whole conversation. But regardless, what I was saying was, I think the majority of the fight was striking, whether Magomed won the rounds or not. But then in the third round, it appears that the judges scored the control or the domination from the grappling against the fence with Magomed, where the rest of the fight they scored the striking, whether it was Magomed. And I think and then because Alex did more striking within that round, but it wasn't enough to make it a striking scored round within the damage. Am I confusing you, or are you following right now?
No, it's actually a lot more simple than that. And do you know how simple this is? Actually, they said think of it as like tug of war. And both guys start even. Yeah. And then depending on the damage, or if there's no damage, then they go to domination, which is like kind of control, who's controlling. Yeah. And then if that's back and forth, then they just kind of see who does it longer. Yeah. But it really comes down to that. But it's like they said, it's like tug of war. And once one person starts doing damage or domination, it goes to his side. And then the other person can catch up and bring it back to the middle and then bring it to their side. But if one person brings it to their side, but a big blow lands, then it swings all the way back over to the other side. So it's really the eyeball test, man. And it just comes down to who did more damage. And sometimes if they think it was close enough, then they'll just go to control. Who's controlling? And then that's where I'd say the initiator of wrestling comes in.
Which was Marvin Ankolaev in round 3. And I think that's why they gave round 3 to him, and they saw that to be enough.
Right. 100%. 100%. That's what it was. It was the initiation of the attack. Because we have this, it's weird too, man. And I don't know if you see it this way, but we have this crazy bias toward wrestling. So if I can wrestle and you can't, but you stop my shots, it almost like scores for you, because I'm the wrestler who's supposed to be able to take you down. But when you go, fights shouldn't be looked at it that way. It shouldn't be looked at, okay, this guy's a wrestler, this guy's a striker. They're both two even guys. So even though I'm a wrestler and I'm supposed to take you down and I don't, that's not points for you.
Yeah.
Defense doesn't score points, but we oftentimes give defense to the non-wrestler if he can. We give him points to the non-wrestler if he can stop the shot, and that's not fair.
All right, I'm about to make it worse. I'm about to stir the pot even more. Stir the pot even more. So I think it's because if you defend a takedown, it's very common just to get back in the stance and nothing happens. Where if you defended the takedown, which actually Joshua Van, he defended some takedowns and landed some damage after it, and then that was his scoring exchange, so to speak. Anyway, regardless, if you defend a takedown and you get back to stance and nothing happens, it looks like nothing happened. Where if you land a takedown, you're immediately landing in a control position. So it looks more effective when, in theory, it's supposed to be the takedown doesn't score. It's what happens after the takedown that scores. I think that's why. But if you're going to go to duration and somebody defended 2 or 3 takedowns in the round, I think that person that defended the takedown should have won the round. That's my perspective.
They don't score for defense, man. It's almost like so you're almost saying like this. If nothing happened in a fight and I threw 2 punches and you blocked them, then you won.
I mean, well, yeah. Then they got to do something else needs to happen. Something else,
right? And I know that's an extreme case. But we're
trying to simplify it and we're making it more complicated.
Well, the reality is that defense doesn't score points at all. It doesn't score at all. So they're always going to favor the initiator for initiating the action. So whether you stuff my shots or not, if I shoot the shot and you stuff it, I won't get like points. Like it won't count unless everything else is equal. Then that comes with domination, maybe, because I was initiating action and control and trying to control action.
Right.
But if you stop the shot and control me and maybe land some knees, then you'll get credit for that more so than me taking the shot.
Because don't be defensive, be counteroffensive. Be counteroffensive. That's what's going to score. Like
that's what scores. And that's so. In fact, I just was talking to RJ Clifford about this. Do you know RJ Clifford?
No.
Okay, so RJ Clifford is a old school dude. He's on Sirius XM, but he also works for the UFC. And no one really knows who he is when he's working because he's dressed like all the guys. He's got the black on and the hat. Mm-hmm. And looks like a production guy. But he be on the Sirius XM. He's on every day, and he be talking shit. And I was talking to him about this today, and that's really the term he used. It's not defense that's going to score you points on that. It's counter offense. You got to counter it.
Right.
And that's the only way it's going to score points. Counter offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Counter offense, because I think that was a big part of Joshua Van's fight. You ever pick up on any referees that are clearly biased towards one thing? I know they say they don't. First of all humans are biased. It's whatever.
Yes,
but
for sure.
I forget his name now. He judged the Danny Sabatello fight, and then the next night he judged He judged Patty Pimblett. He's friends with Chael Sonnen.
I want to say Kerry Hatlett.
No, it's not. It's just gonna bother me. Either
I-
way, he clearly favors wrestling. Like in the most, he's been in so many controversial fights where he favored the wrestler, where a lot of people felt he shouldn't. God, this is gonna bother me. I think he's bald. I'll look it up.
Eve Levine.
It's not Eve Levine. Let's see. MMA judge, friends with Chael Sonnen.
Chris Tognoni.
No, it's
Herb Dean.
no.
Okay, now let me stop. Let me stop.
Oh, you're gonna be like, oh, duh, like Chelsea. Doug Crosby.
Doug Crosby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I know him more as. Oh, so did you say judge or ref?
I said judge.
Oh, no wonder I was.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
I
even know what you were throwing out ref names for.
I'm throwing out referees, thinking that you talking about refs. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, you know, that's not. I don't think that's him either. Yeah, whatever. But
anyway, what did he say?
Yeah. Either way, the guy's like clearly biased towards right. And I wonder, like, are we gonna start picking up like we see like umpires? This umpire, he loves the wide zone. He's a hitter's umpire. You know, like when are we gonna start picking up for judges? Like this guy, he's a wrestler's judge. This guy, he's a striker's judge. This guy loves those kicks. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna figure that out. That's
no
not
doubt about that. There's no doubt about that we're going to start picking up on what they like. But the problem is we don't know who's judging and reffing. They don't really, or they're not all that open with that information. I think it's available though, but no one really.
It's available. It's not something you can game plan around as a fighter or a coach. I don't think anyway. You don't know that. I mean, I'm sure you can get wind of it by the weigh-ins or something maybe, but you don't know who's got your fight until you're walking, which is fine. But I mean, I'm saying for fans, like they always list the judges before, and fans are gonna know, especially those fight nerds. The fight nerds are nerds, man. They're worse than baseball fans. Like this guy, he's totally cool with standing and laying back. Like this judge is, you know, it's coming our way. You know, I'm gonna be the first to do it. Fuck that.
Yeah, man, do it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think we got our first guest. Hold on. I hope his situation is right. Let me let him in.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
what's up, man?
Joshua Van, victorious over the weekend.
Congratulations,
man. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. I feel great. You know.
Yeah. Well, you look good. You got a scratch on you.
Nah, no scratch. I come clean this fight.
So all right. So check this out. I saw you in, was it the kitchen or the PI? But it was the kitchen, right? At the Apex. I saw you in the kitchen at the Apex, and you said, and I was like, yeah, man, we like your work, man. Your work is tight. And you said, I got some new shit that I'm gonna show them. I got some new shit. So I want to know right now, did you show them the new shit? And if not, can you tell me what the new shit is?
Man, no, I didn't get to show my new shit, man. Real talk, just because of the he keeps shooting, and I couldn't find my timings and all that. So I think he did his game plan well. I guess you know what I mean, for me to not let me work on my game. So shout out to that guy, man.
Well, I tell you what, man. Sorry, Dean. Go ahead. Were you gonna say something, Dean?
No, go ahead. It's you, Ryan. It's you.
Okay. So
no,
I loved whether it was your game plan or your adjustments were fantastic. We were just talking about being counteroffensive, and then you defended takedowns. Like you brought sprawl and brawl back to the game big time. I thought that was fantastic, and it was funny. You clearly, and this is a wrestler habit, you clearly put him in an uncomfortable situation because towards the end of the fight, he was shooting at a higher volume, I felt, because he was like, that's what I'm good at. I'm going to live and die by this. And you just kept doing your thing, man. And you clearly felt like, you know what, this is working. Let him, almost like the Matador, let him come to me. I defend. I'll strike him up a little, boxing. And you mixed it up too. So I thought it was great. I love the fight. Great work, man.
Thank you, man. And
was that the game plan? I guess I need a question in there. Was that the game plan?
The game plan was to knock him out. You know what I mean? Especially it was the first time me representing my country and stuff like that. So I really want to go for the kills and stuff like that. That probably the reason why, like, I didn't get to show out my skill and stuff like that because I was so aggressive, and you know what I mean. I didn't want to do the touch up and the feelings and stuff like that. So just going there with like the kill, you know what I mean, the kill mentality. So that probably is what messing me up, messing me up in the fight. And he got cardios for days, man. That kid.
Oh yeah. So
Oh yeah.
I got man. I thought you were going to knock him out, but I think the fact that he was kind of running away every time you hit him, I think that kind of helped. It helped his case in terms of not taking the punch at its full capacity. But again, man, your diversity in striking on point. You seem to be on the come up. I think a lot of flyweights right now got their eye on you, but I want to know what flyweight do you have an eye on?
Well, flyweight, man. Like the thing is, I don't really watch fights, so I don't know like all of them names and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But the top 10, top five, man. Whoever they give me, I'll fight. So I don't pick and choose. You know what I mean?
Hold
So
on, man.
you're
What is your
yeah,
background if you
what do you
don't watch
watch?
fights?
What do you watch then? What do you watch?
I watch my own fight to see what I got to work on and see what I'm good at. Like so, that's my thing, and I like watching Peter Yan fight just because that's the same style that I. You know what I mean? Like we basically have the same style, so I like watching him. Before my fight and stuff
I
like
can
that.
see
But
that.
but
Hmm.
other than that, man, I don't really watch fight. But my background is a street fight, a school fighter, street fighter. You know what I mean? So that's how I came.
Not bad, not bad. So I got word you're doing some work with the Houston Texans. Is that true?
Yeah, man, they hit me up. They came over to my gym one day with a jersey, and we take some pictures and stuff like that.
So what are you training with some of the players, or you're just cross collaborating online and stuff like that?
Yeah, not yet, not yet. We just doing
Who are they drafting, bro? No, I'm kidding.
yeah, just picture right now.
Very cool. Very cool.
So what do they call you? They call you Josh or Joshua?
I like when people call me Joshua just because of like it have meanings and shit. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
don't mind if they call me Josh because a lot more people call me Josh now. But
Well,
I like
because it's
yeah,
lazy.
yeah.
It's lazy. We're gonna make you feel dignified. We're gonna call you Joshua.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Joshua.
Yeah.
So
Keep in
but
mind
Joshua,
that Dean's
so,
full name is De Niro, and he hasn't gone by De Niro in how many years?
never. But Joshua, I want to know, man. I like to promote people and help fighters get a connection with the audience. But what helps that connection is relatability. So just like what is it that you like to do? What is it that people can gravitate towards you for? What do you like to do on your free time or anything you're passionate about?
Man, on my free time, like right now, after everything I start fighting, man, I on my free time, I just like to lay on bed and enjoy the break time because I train 3 times a day and stuff like that. So whenever I have free time, all I want is rest. You know what I mean? But then before I start my career in fighting, like I like to play soccer, I like to draw and stuff like that. So yeah,
What do you like to eat? What's your cheat meal?
my cheat meal is McDonald's, Big Macs with a large fries and a
See, I'm a
Coke.
Whopper guy. I'm not really a Big Mac guy. I like the
No,
quarter pounder.
you missing out, bro. You gotta try it. It's good.
Well, I had it. I prefer the quarter pounder, or if I go to McDonald's, yeah, if I go to McDonald's, a quarter pounder, but I like the Whopper from Burger King over.
Okay.
I gotta know, man. Just listening to you talk, man, it's fascinating. You live in Houston, and I know you grew up around a lot of black people.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, my man grew up around black people, but you're originally from
Myanmar.
Miramar. How long have you been here for?
I got here when I was 12, so I've been here more than half of my life. So yeah.
Okay, all right, but now you're in Houston running with the homies.
Yeah, you know how it is. You know how you been to Ace, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know how it is
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, I've never been
Yeah.
to
I spent
Houston.
some time out there.
Yes, sir.
Ryan, you got anything else before we cut my man loose?
No, man, I'm looking for when do you? So you don't have any names, but when do you got out healthy? When do you think you'll be fighting again? Have they said anything? I mean, I know it's quick, or when do you want to fight again?
Man, I already hit on my manager like I want to fight next week. You know what I mean? So just because I get bored, man. I get bored at the house and stuff like that. So I want to get back as soon as possible. So as soon as they got me a matchup, I'll be ready.
Sounds good.
Man, I love it. Man, you're a very exciting fighter. A lot of promise, man. A lot of potential. I'm going to be looking forward to watching your career develop. I always like seeing guys grow and develop into something cool. Just don't forget about us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when you become champ, we're going to be calling. You're going to be like, man, I don't know that motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
Nah, man. It ain't
Just,
me, man. It ain't me. You know what
I
I mean?
hear
I feel
you.
like that. But
I hear you.
my next one is gonna be a knockout just for you.
There
I
you go.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
There
Well,
you go.
Joshua, man, please stay in touch. Keep stay safe, keep healthy, and I look forward to seeing you again, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. Yeah, have a great one.
All right,
Later,
man.
bro.
Peace.
Peace.
Joshua Van.
Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get a hobby with that dude. That dude's he's got to start watching anime or something.
It's crazy though, man. Like it's I think that's becoming the norm for fighters to be like that. I don't want to say lame, but just like, dude, we gotta find something for you to do.
Dude, I was really like, I mean, I always liked watching football and stuff like that, but I never wanted to do anything. I remember my mother asked me, she's like, "What besides training, what do you do on your free time?" And I said, "I put the gi on and I go to jujitsu." She's like, "Yo,
Yeah,
what
right.
do you do outside of fucking?" And it wasn't until like I met Mo where I started like doing shit. Like he would like be like, "We're going to the arcade, we're going bowling and stuff." Like yeah, you know what? There needs to be a little bit, but whatever. You know, it seems to be working for the young man. I don't want to shit on
Well,
him.
no, I think it's a bit. I mean, you want to be dedicated to your craft like that. You want to, but then I think I think it helps with creativity and balance. Balance, of course, but like creativity, drawing from other inspirations. So like doing a hobby, like getting in touch with nature. I don't care if you're watching birds. Like there's a level of connection there that
Yeah.
really, a guy like Yuri Prohashka, who will probably tell you, I don't do nothing, but he's probably out in nature a lot, meditating, which is a form of something different, like meditating. Yeah. Whoever knows what his creepy ass into.
Yeah.
But
yeah. What
but
do you do?
yeah, but you're right, man. Like I think these guys really need to find an outlet to unplug, man. Like you can't. These dudes, it's crazy to be involved in this game like that.
Yeah, you just hit a wall like mentally, and it's like, dude, you got to blow off some steam.
Honestly, you know what? So, and that brings me to Jalen Turner. That I have my theories on a lot of things about him, but at the end of the day, like it's not one or the other.
Yeah.
But I also think that there might have been some burnout with him. Like when he was rising up and doing his thing, he was probably in the gym every day and just crazy in the gym and didn't really know how to balance things. And then for whatever reason, man, like it's different for him now.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking back now about like less than a little over a year ago where he was like on the up and dude, this dude is legit, blah blah blah. And then he kind of like fizzled. It's almost like he's constantly overtrained, and that's what led to this. Now
That's what I think it is. Like he might have been overtrained because he was so obsessive about the game and thinking he needed to do this and that. And he might have overtrained and then overcompensated from overtraining by doing nothing or just falling out of love with the game. That maybe it's a hard thing to balance, man. And the easiest, I mean, there's no real easy way to do it, but if you have role models who've done it before you, that can give you a little bit of an advantage in being able to deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, just the way he looked too, it wasn't like I'm retiring. He looked just mentally exhausted. And
I know.
That's sad.
He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to get out of the cage. But the fact that he offered up his services to Ignacio,
yeah,
shows you that he still loves the game. but not the fighting part of it.
Where's he training again?
He just moved. He moved to like Clearwater or St. Pete or somewhere over there, and he was training with Matt Arroyo and those guys.
Okay.
And some kickboxing guys.
Well, maybe he just needs to step away for a little bit and then he just go train somewhere else for like a couple weeks and then come back. Like just.
Well, I mean, he's been out for a while, and in fact, he was in Dubai training, but he's originally from California, and he's like, he kind of was getting around, but I think maybe, it's just sometimes, man, fighting ain't for everybody,
dude.
And sometimes it's for you for a couple years, and then it's not,
I heard this story. Glover was really big on experiencing life, whether you're training with you or not. He's really big on that. And he told me this story that always stuck with him. He was watching the Pumping Iron Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the documentary about the documentary, and they interviewed Lou Ferrigno, and they said, "What would you do differently? You didn't beat Arnold." He said, "What would you do differently?" And he goes, "You know what I would do differently? There was this beautiful beach when we were in South Africa training for a competition. Everyone went to the beach. It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. I didn't go to the beach. I wanted to train. Everyone was going out. I'm going to train. I'm going to beat Arnold. I didn't go to the beach. I didn't beat Arnold. I would have went to the beach." That's what he said he would have changed. He was like, "I was never going to beat Arnold, and I missed out on so much because all I did was train." Now I'm not saying that these kids can't be world champions. I would never but there's just a lot in life outside of those walls of your gym to experience that. Like, I missed out on a lot of shit too, just because, no, I'm just like, I'm just going to train, but you got to just step outside.
Well, and plus too, like, I don't know what gym he's training at.
Mm-hmm.
He was with some guys that I didn't know, so I'm assuming it's probably a smaller gym, and they don't have a lot of experienced guys. So he probably doesn't have any like crazy, and he says he doesn't even watch fighting, so he doesn't have any crazy role models to probably tell him what to do and what not to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if he's comfortable there, but at least get a head coach, like.
Yeah, but sometimes even them head coaches are like, "Man, you got to train because the other guys are. You got to train because the other guys are." Yeah. So he probably doesn't even feel like he has permission. Like, some fighters don't even feel like they have permission to do other things because they feel like, "Oh no, if I miss a day of training, I'm gonna be behind." But the reality is, as long as your hobby is not a major distraction from your craft, I think it's such a benefit to have.
Yeah. Dude, think about how much you learn from reading about nothing that has to do with fighting. Like, it's
yeah, I know, but just it really triggers different neural pathways in your head that allow you to see the world differently. And I think that makes you a better fighter because you can then see fighting from a different perspective.
Dude, not to go off, but I've been doing audiobooks lately, and I don't like it, but it's the only way I can get books in right now. I'd much rather turn the page, but I got the audiobook when I'm going to work, coming back, or when I'm working. Like, I miss reading. I feel very relaxed when I'm reading, and
I do both. I do audiobooks. I have a book that I'm reading physically, and then I also read on Kindle.
The Kindle. See, but I'm like, you know what? I'm like, if I'm staring at a screen all day, I don't want to stare at another screen.
I know you kind of have to get used to it, but I mean, it's just a way to consume a book like right away. Like, you get the book right away and you just.
So I'm reading this book right now. I read this piece. Well, I'm listening to this book right now. I was listening, and there was a story in it that I heard over the weekend. I think you'll like this. It's a lesson about being all in. Anyway, so it's called Taking the Stairs by Rory Hayden. It's a very good book. But he talks about a guy walks into the bathroom. He reaches in his pocket, accidentally drops a $5 bill in the urinal. And he looks at it like, "Oh, what am I going to do?" And another guy walks in and goes, "That's a crappy situation. What are you going to do?" He looks at the guy, pulls out his wallet, pulls out a $50 bill, throws it on top of the $5 bill in the urinal, reaches in and grabs both. And then the guy goes, "What, are you crazy?" And he goes, "You think I was sticking my hand in there just for $5? He went all in.
That's pretty funny.
he was going. He was able to get through it.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're getting our other guest.
No, I don't think so either. So we'll talk. It's okay. We'll get him some other time.
So, but I do want to give a shout out to my man Nemesis for providing the music for today. So make sure y'all check out my dog Nemesis. But Ryan, on that, man, you got anything else?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the main event next weekend. You know, I really like. I love when they put together good main events like this, and everyone shits on the fight night cards, but whatever. I think they're great. It reminds me of like top 25 college football teams playing each other, and this is a good one, I think. What do you think about it? You tell me.
I think it's great, man. Marvin Vettori taking on Roman Dolidze. It's a rematch. They've trained together in the past, so they know each other very well. Sometimes that could kind of create certain patterns in fights because they know each other so well. But I think the fact that Marvin Vettori moved to Florida, now trains with the American Top Team, should actually be an advantage for him because he's going to be a different fighter, I think. And he talks about that. So I think he's going to be a different fighter. But, we know Roman Dolidze is just as dangerous as they come. Big power in his hands, super good in the grappling. And he's been active, while Marvin has been out for 2 years from a shoulder injury. So
in 2 years, wow.
Yeah. So I think that can be a huge factor too.
I think that, first of all, we're going to see some good striking. I think although I love Roman Dolidze because I love how he works on the ground. I really, especially later on in life, I've become one of those guys who really love jiu-jitsu and MMA. But I think that if Marvin keeps strict boxing and creates angles, he's gonna score. I don't think he's gonna knock anybody out, but he's gonna create fits enough to score. And I mean, granted, it's a 5-round fight. He's got a very disciplined game plan that you have to stick with. But I just think it's going to be a great fight because especially if Roman gets in, he gets a takedown, does some flashy grappling. There's just so much to offer in a fight like this.
Yeah, and especially 5 rounds too, because the first time they fought was 4 rounds. I'm not sure Roman has fought 5 rounds. I think he may have fought 5 rounds once, but we know Marvin can do it. But I know Roman, I've always felt like he's had gas tank issues. But I think he did fight 5 rounds once. I gotta go back and check on that. If he hasn't, then I'm a little concerned for him. Yeah. Because if he's never been 5 rounds and seems like he has gas tank issues, it could be an issue.
Right. That's why we have the fight.
That's why we have the fight. I'm certainly looking forward to that. But and I'm working it too. I'm actually leaving out there on Thursday, so you'll hear me on the broadcast. You'll see me on the pre-show and the post-show.
I will be at Disney World watching it on my phone.
Typical dad.
Yeah.
Typical dad stuff. So, but Ryan, it's been real.
Yeah.
It's all love. And I appreciate you. And we will do this again next week. And if you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, and do not be afraid to comment.
Yes, we are blowing up. We've decided that we're going to take over the Mixed Martial Arts Combat Sports podcast game. So join us for the ride.
That's right. And on that, this court is adjourned.